Welcome to I Wrote This News. Today is February 17, 2022. Hey kid, want some news? Story number 1, Giuliani's motto, America, love it or leave it. Also, you only hurt the one you love. Former Trump attorney and face-melting Rudy Giuliani urged Eminem to, quote, go to another country after the rapper decided to take a knee during Sunday's Super Bowl halftime show performance. Let's get right to Eminem taking a knee, Giuliani said during his radio program, the cleverly named Rudy Giuliani Show, on Monday. He said, quote, why doesn't he go to another country? I mean, go take a knee someplace else. You know how many cops were defending him and protecting him at that game yesterday? I mean, crime is way out of control in Los Angeles. Giuliani sputtered on, saying, quote, he thinks that all happened because everybody loves Eminem. The simple reality is the NFL has made a mockery of law enforcement, particularly with its support for the cop killing Black Lives Matter. A short video clip of Eminem taking a knee had been viewed on Twitter at least 2.5 million times as of Tuesday. While some praised Eminem for the moment, Giuliani was not alone in his criticism. Other prominent conservatives who lashed out at the rapper included Donald Trump Jr., who mockingly said he looked like Ellen DeGeneres. In addition to urging Eminem to leave the country, Giuliani also took aim at Super Bowl halftime performer Snoop Dogg on Monday, mocking his rapping style and referring to him as, quote, Snoop Kill Police Doggy Dog. Following the 2020 presidential election, Giuliani represented Donald Trump in several lawsuits filed in attempts to overturn the election results, making false and debunked allegations about rigged voting machines, polling place fraud, and an international communist conspiracy. As a consequence, his license to practice law was suspended in New York State in June 2021 and in the District of Columbia in July 2021. Story number 2, David Bennett still in possession of someone else's pig parts. The marvel of modern science, David Bennett continues to defy odds, surviving more than a month after his pig heart transplant. On Sunday, Bennett sat up in bed and meekly sang America the Beautiful as Jean Aiko belted out her rendition prior to Super Bowl 56. Bennett, who received a genetically modified pig heart during a transplant on January 7th, continues his slow recovery at the University of Maryland Medical Center. Lead surgeon Dr. Mohammed Mohiuddin, professor of surgery and director of the cardiac xenotransplantation program at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, reported, quote, the heart is doing great. We have several cardiologists trying to find any fault in it, but they have not been able to do it. The heart is contracting vigorously as it should. It has shown no signs of rejection. Still no word on the status of the other heartless pig. Story number 3, I gladly invade you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Russia denied reports that it was planning to attack Ukraine imminently, telling the German newspaper Die Welt, quote, wars in Europe rarely start on a Wednesday. Russia's envoy to the EU, Vladimir Chizhov, told Die Welt in an article published on Wednesday, quote, as far as Russia is concerned, I can assure you that there will be no attack this Wednesday. It is not clear what day Chizhov made the comments, but it follows reports saying the U.S. military had assessed that a Russian attack could come as early as Wednesday. The U.S. and UK also warned on Monday that an invasion by Russia could happen in days. Russia has repeatedly claimed that it had no plans to attack or invade Ukraine, but Western countries have been skeptical of those claims as Russia built up hundreds of thousands of troops on Ukraine's border. Russia said on Tuesday that it was pulling back some troops from Ukraine's border, but did not say how many. NATO said on Wednesday that Russia, on the contrary, appeared to be increasing its troop presence on the Ukrainian border. President Joe Biden also said Tuesday that the U.S. had not been able to verify Russia's claim that it was withdrawing troops. Story number 4, Splash Me Again, Padre. A priest in Arizona resigned after he incorrectly performed baptisms for decades, possibly derailing the rite for thousands of people. The Catholic Diocese of Phoenix on its website confirmed the Father Andres Arango used the words, quote, we baptize you instead of the correct phrase, quote, I baptize you. He reportedly made the error in both English and Spanish. The diocese explained that the single incorrect word matters for worshippers because, quote, it is not the community that baptizes a person and incorporates them into the Church of Christ. Rather, it is Christ, and Christ alone, who presides at all sacraments. Said the diocese, therefore, it is Christ who baptizes. If you were baptized using the wrong words, that means your baptism is invalid and you are not baptized. No explanation as to why the word, we, couldn't refer to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, nor why the priest using the word, I, automatically refers to Christ rather than the priest. But anyway, the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith, the Vatican's Orthodoxy Office, said in 2020 that baptisms performed by saying, we, instead of I, are not valid. Catholic Canon also notes that baptism should only be performed once, saying, quote, every person not yet baptized, and only such a person, is able to be baptized. This could leave congregants in the tricky position of having to recall whether the priest used the word "we" instead of "I." Fortunately, priests can perform a conditional baptism which is valid only if it's needed. Here's what Jesus says on the question of whether the word "I" or "we" should be used when performing a baptism. February 17th is the 48th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar. 317 days remain until the end of the year. Now it's time for On This Date in History. On this date in 1600, on his way to be burned at the stake for heresy, at Campo dei Fiori in Rome, the philosopher Giordano Bruno has a wooden vise put on his tongue to prevent him from continuing to speak. Bruno was tried for heresy by the Roman Inquisition on charges of denial of several core Catholic doctrines, including eternal damnation, the Trinity, the divinity of Christ, the virginity of Mary, and transubstantiation. Bruno is also known for his cosmological theories, which conceptually extended the then novel Copernican model. He proposed that the stars were distant suns surrounded by their own planets, and he raised the possibility that these planets might foster life of their own, a cosmological position known as cosmic pluralism. He also insisted that the universe is infinite and could have no center. On this date in 1621, Miles Standish is appointed as first military commander of the English Plymouth colony in North America. On this date in 1801, a tie in the Electoral College between Thomas Jefferson and Aaron Burr is resolved when Jefferson is elected President of the United States and Burr Vice President by the United States House of Representatives. On this date in 1819, the United States House of Representatives passes the Missouri Compromise for the first time. The Missouri Compromise stopped Northern attempts to forever prohibit slavery's expansion by admitting Missouri as a slave state and Maine as a free state in exchange for legislation which prohibited slavery in the remaining Louisiana Purchase land north of the 36° 30' parallel. On this date in 1864, the Confederate vessel the H.L. Hunley becomes the first submarine to engage and sink a warship, the USS Housatonic. On this date in 1974, Robert Preston, a disgruntled U.S. Army private, buzzes the White House in a stolen helicopter. Preston had enlisted in the Army in the hopes of becoming a helicopter pilot but failed to graduate from the Army's helicopter pilot school. His enlistment bound him to serve 4 years in the Army, and he was sent to Fort Meade as a helicopter mechanic. Preston believed that this situation was unfair and later said that he stole the helicopter to show his skill as a pilot. Celebrating birthdays today are baseballer Roger Craig, football great and actor Jim Brown, blues singer Luann Barton, actress Renee Russo, Home Improvement co-star Richard Karn, swimmer Rowdy Gaines, actor Lou Diamond Phillips, comedian Larry the Cable Guy, basketball legend Michael Jordan, director Michael Bay, actor Dominic Purcell, actress Denise Richards, whatever it is she does, Paris Hilton, singer Ed Sheeran, and British actress Patricia Routledge, who turns 93 today. Happy birthday to all of them, and if your birthday is today, a very happy birthday to you as well. By the way, if you or someone you know is having a birthday and would like us to announce it on the show, leave us a voice message or send an email. The links are in the show notes. Today's news was brought to us by Newsweek, Florida Today, Yahoo News, USA Today, the Catholic Code of Canon, the New Testament, and the only website my cat loves more than me, Wikipedia. If you have a comment or a question about anything you've heard today, or if you have a suggestion, please send us a note at I wrote this news, all one word, at thatradioshow.com. That email address one more time is I wrote this news, all one word, at thatradioshow.com.
One more thing, if this podcast sounds a little funny, that's because it's also an experiment. All of the vocals were generated using AI technology. Hopefully the show will sound different and better as the tech improves and as we improve at using it. I'm Bob Neese, hoping you have an amazing day. We'll get together again soon.